Welcome to this edition of Goldenrod Radio. I'm Jelly Sound, and we're here with That's a Plus One,
Yep,
talking about all things Pokemon. This is Chespin, by the way.
I got Chicory to hit too. Ha 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 ha
There's
ha.
a Pikachu somewhere back there
Somewhere.
behind me.
Oh yeah, I
But
see it stuffed in the closet.
yeah,
That's where it goes.
it's the old Pikachu from the I think the '90s,
I think
like
I
the,
have
the
one too.
first the first like big doll that they came. I don't know if it was a promotional thing or because everybody had like the Pikachu.
Yeah, I think I have the same thing. It's like a big round ball.
Yeah, it was that or the Charmander that was like 2 feet tall.
Yep.
Carnival prizes, maybe. I don't know.
All right.
So we haven't done a broadcast in a while. Lots of stuff going on though.
Yeah, there's definitely lots of stuff going on. I'm just gonna give a little brief list of stuff we're gonna be talking about today. I have it written on my notepad. We're gonna be talking about the VGCs coming around in April for the spring tournaments coming up. We're going to be talking about the Pokemon beta competition that was broadcasted the last weekend, right? It was last weekend, and it was for entrance of the Pokemon Global Showdown and a couple other. Like, there's a few hundred people that still got in, mostly for people that were in the Global Showdown. Also, Rating Battle Season 2 ended last week, and Rating Battle Season 3 started. There's a few changes to the special format. It's not as simple as it sounds. Our Pokemon PR Open, that's our video tournament, our PR video tournament, is being broadcast this Friday from Mage's Realm, and that's going to be great. There are a lot of prizes in that. We're also starting up a new thing called Fight Night, where we can, where people come and pretty much there's a reigning champion each week, and players are able to compete for prizes in that. We're going to be talking about the banning of the Lucario Knight and Genesect to Ubers from the Smogon tiering system, and other potential Pokemon that can possibly be banned as well. We're also going to be talking about the Pokemon of the Week. It's Garchomp this week. I don't think we have a haiku, but, whatever. It's fine. Um, we're talking about Pokemon is also going to be coming to Netflix. Just a little thing to mention. We'll probably mention it again later. And also we're going to be talking a lot about Twitch Plays Pokemon, the internet sensation sweeping the world by storm.
Quite a phenomenon.
Yeah, so that's Jelly Me Jelly-san talking a lot about that. I think we're gonna see nicknames on those Pokemon. Like anytime anyone's inside an Omanyte, the next 10 years, it's gonna be named Lord Helix. So
Yep.
I think
I've already seen plenty of screenshots of Wonder Trade Pokemon that are either Dukes or Abby.
yeah, I've seen what is it? I've caught quite a few Bird Jesus already. So
Yeah.
you know what they say, like if Pidgeot's Bird Jesus, what does that make like Zapdos, Moltres, and Articuno? Are they like the wise men?
Yeah. They could
All right, so anyways, I guess we should probably just start talking now. But halfway through, we'll raffle off some sorry 5 IV Gibbles because Pokemon of the Week is Garchomp. And that's what we'll be doing. It's weird because I want to use like the raffle system and a bunch of other stuff. I minimized the page. Everything on the OBS could like break, you know.
That's true.
It's fine. So we're gonna start talking about the VGCs coming up in April. There are tournaments in Utah, Washington, and a couple other places. I don't really want to talk as much about the VGCs as much as like a shift from the meta in the VGCs. Does that like make any sense? Like what do you think about like the meta in the VGC so far, Jelly Sound?
I think that what we saw back in like the beginning of the year was very similar on, and I think it's starting to change. What the people who are doing well are they're shifting to like the bulky metas, the Mega Aggron, the Mega Tyranitar, the Mega Garchomp, and those are doing pretty well for him, especially since well, I don't know, like it's just that
Yeah.
seems where it's headed. Like those are the megas that are becoming more popular.
Yeah, I got it. What we're seeing is obviously a trend away from sweepers, and things like Talonflame and Manectric are starting to lose popularity. Manectric was really big for about a week. I would play Showdown, and every single time I'd hit anyone, it'd be Manectric. Anyone. Like, Kangaskhan's starting to lose favor. All you have to do to stop Kangaskhan is bring a Garchomp or a Ferrothorn. Throw your Rocky Helmet on it, and straight up the opponent won't even bring their Kangaskhan, because they can't fight it.
Yeah,
So we're starting to see a shift in the meta, just like it happens every season of VGC. The more potential, like if you can wall out your opponent's team, you can win. War of attrition, that's what VGC is. So Pokemon that are starting to gain favor are obviously Mawile is becoming a huge popular Mega. What else is getting good? Mega Ampharos has always been very decent. You see it a lot in Japanese play. And other things that, like, I want to see Mega Agrons, but I don't think that I don't think the meta is ready for that yet. Even though I just knocked Kangaskhan earlier, I still think Kangaskhan is better than Aggron at the moment, even though Aggron does have a winning matchup against Kangaskhan. It's kind of weird. So I think that we're just seeing a shift to slower, bulkier teams, and eventually once we start getting these slower, bulkier teams, we'll start seeing the dominance of Trick Room again
Yeah.
in the VGCs.
Especially since some of these Pokemon, when you Mega Evolve them, they get even like Garchomp gets even slower,
Mm-hmm.
and that would be a good asset for Trick Room team.
I started seeing like Mega Kangaskhan's with Hammer Arm, so like, and then the teammate would pop Trick Room, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm like so dead."
I was way ahead of the meta when I bred all my Kangaskhan's with Hammer Arm.
You know what gets Drain Punch? Did you
Hmm?
know Kangaskhan learns Drain Punch?
Is that transfer or is it egg?
It's an egg. We could have had Drain Punch the whole time. I hit one on the ladder, and I was like, "Oh, it's so broken." And I was like, "Wait, there's like before Pokemon was out," and I was like, "Whoa." Anyways, also another really good Pokemon that you're going to start seeing a lot of, especially by the end of the season, is Mega Abomasnow. Weather's still really good, and if you pair Abomasnow with something that can potentially counter the Charizard, like Abomasnow Aerodactyl is actually a very threatening lead. The Aerodactyl checks the Charizard, and Abomasnow checks the Venusaur, as well as the Charizard, depending on how you're built.
Yeah.
Because we could also see Choice Scarf Abomasnow, so we could see a lot of different things from Abomasnow. He's a very good Mega. I've been testing it out on Showdown a lot.
I was seeing a Mammoth about Abomasnow, Mega Abomasnow.
That's really good. It's a Sand Veil. You don't really need the thick fat on Mamoswine anyways.
Yeah, it's the he gets it's a is it a speed boost or evasion boost?
Oh, it's an evasion boost, but most people scarf their Mamoswines. Like, if anytime you ever see Mamoswine, it is going to be scarfed. So you got anything else to talk about for the VGCs coming up? I know that we are potentially going to at least 2 this season. We'll probably be going to Washington and Utah. Anything you got to say about it? Any new team comps you've been working on?
I haven't been working like over hard. I've been taking a bit of a break from VGC competitive stuff, uh,
Yeah.
and I'm a little rusty now. It's going back on to. I'm thinking of changing the Mega up from Kangaskhan though. I'm thinking Garchomp maybe.
You know, I was testing Mega Garchomp a lot as like a joke, just because it is one of my favorite Megas. I think it's going to definitely, by the end of the season, be a viable Mega. But
If people are
Mawile,
using
go for it.
if slower Pokemon are going to be more effective, then I think Mega Garchomp would be a great
It's not
asset.
it's not that it's slower Pokemon, it's bulkier Pokemon. Pokemon that just have that sheer like ugh. Like Conkeldurr. Like Conkeldurr Garchomp. Like, well, you can will-o-wisp these guys, but you'll die for it. So and one of them has guts.
Yep.
So yeah, it's bulkier Pokemon. And I think if you just need a Mega to use, you know, you can always throw Mawile into almost any team. I think it's so good with sheer bulk, has huge power, it has priority Sucker Punch, it has Intimidate, and you don't even have to ever really Mega it. It's just a really good Mega right now, especially in doubles.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's pretty much all we got to talk about for the VGCs. The next thing we're going to be talking about is the Pokemon Beta Competition, a tournament that was an online competition that took place last weekend. It was open specifically to players who competed and placed in the 2013 Global Showdown, another Wi-Fi event hosted by Nintendo. And the Global Showdown tournament was an Ubers tournament, believe it or not. It was a lot of fun. It was singles Ubers with a 3v3 format, but this tournament was open to participants who placed high in that. Also, there was a little bit of open like registration, but in reality, like, you needed to like you ever went to like a pre-release or something? Whenever you go to like a pre-release, you know, you kind of want to get there super early and get the
Scope
stuff.
everything out.
Yeah, like if you didn't like wait until midnight and click like the sign up for this event, you would have missed the limited registration. So
Yeah.
it
I
was
know
just
I
really
did.
it was really open for people who were already players who already used the GBU a lot. Anyways, the tournament format was doubles with pretty much it was Kalos-born Pokemon, not just things in the Kalos decks. It was Kalos-born Pokemon. You can't use any Pokebank stuff. Now, it's hard to explain it, but like let's say you want to use Infernape. Well, Infernape's from the Pokebank, but if you trade over your Infernape into X and Y and you breed a new Infernape, you can use that one because it's born in Kalos.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to understand, but it's very simple. it pretty much means you can use almost whatever you want as long as you made it in your X and Y.
So does that include like Togekiss, Blissey,
That does include Togekiss and Blissey, two Pokemon I did use in my team.
and
Uh,
Gastrodons galore?
oh, I didn't see any Gastrodons. I'm so lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, DSR, we are going to Seattle. I think I'm at least going to Seattle. I don't know if everyone else on my team is, but I think at least I'm going to Seattle. Anyways, so that competition was doubles format. It's pretty much the same as VGCs. You have the same 15-minute time limit, and you can use a lot of different teams. It's a lot of fun. What sets this competition apart from other online competitions is usually they're over a 3-day weekend or something like that. They're Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's usually the time limit. And you can play as many games as you want, and the higher your points are by the end of the 3 days, that's your rating. What they changed up for X and Y was you can only play 20 games per day, and the number of games you play per day carry over to the next day. So if you if you don't play all your games on, let's say, Friday, well, then you can play 40 games on Saturday. Or if you play on Friday and then you don't play on Saturday, well, then you can play 40 games on Sunday. I think it's a really cool thing to do because what was happening was the Japanese and Korean players were just totally staying up forever and just laddering, and oh man, it was not fair. It wasn't fair.
Exponential.
This way it makes it just a set playing field for everyone, and it makes all of your all of your battles really count. Because before you was like, oh, I lost that one, well, I'll just win this one, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're playing for keeps. Because the difference in scores between North America and Asia were thousands of points different.
Yeah, so I actually did pretty well. I think I got like 1780, and I brought a team that was no good. It was too straightforward. I had no counters to cheese, and there was just like an unlimited amount of Perish Song teams. When I saw like Perish Trap, I was like, I'm just gonna run because my team couldn't deal with it, and you can't change your team by the end of the tournament. I think I probably went like 60 and like, not 60, I went for 60 games. I think I went probably around 40-20. I had a pretty decent rating. I could talk about my team later, but it was a lot of fun. I ended up accidentally bringing, not like accidentally, I thought my team up and went with it, but I had 3 fairies and a Blissey. And so, like a common person who's watching my games, it looked like I had like a full 4 fairy team, because Blissey's fairy A group. I had Mawile, Azumarill, and Togekiss.
Uh,
And I was just like, there were a lot of teams that just really couldn't do shit about it. Like, I just free victory, I have all these fairies. Should have brought your steel type. Oh wait, you don't have any.
it's too bad.
Yep. But
That's a
like
lot
really
of
common leads for me were Mawile and Azumarill, like the double huge power lead, and it was so much fun to just do leads like that. They're like, you could only will wisp one before you die, and that was
And all of those
fun.
are previous gen Pokemon. Nothing new.
No, I think I brought Azumarill, Togekiss, Mawile, Blissey. I brought Goodra. I like
Okay,
Goodra.
so
Goodra's like
yeah.
the best doubles Pokemon. And then Rotom. Rotom's my 6th. Yep.
All right, so something from everywhere.
Yeah, so that was pretty much my team for the 2014 Pokemon Beta Competitions. Ratings should be up in a couple days, and it should be. I want to see how I did because I think I want to place high for like the American. That's just what I want to do.
Yeah.
All right, so next thing we're going to be talking about is the Maximum Impulse PR Open. It's a tournament that is being sponsored by Maximum Impulse Gaming, the gaming organization that me and Jellysound are both a part of. It's a tournament exclusively for PR video. Now, if you don't know what a PR video is, the little video you can make inside your Pokemon X or Y games that have like a 10-second little clip of you either like doing poses or you with your Pokemon. And it's just a little music video you can try and think of.
Would you like me to show one?
Yeah, go for it. This Jellysound's going to show one.
All right, this is completely. Let's see if this works.
It's close enough. You see the music, you hear it. It's like he's using a Wobbuffet. Yeah, so it's kind of hard to see what it's saying. But that was pretty much a 10-second video. That's an example of a PR video. And this Friday, tomorrow I think, we're going to be hosting the, I guess the grand finals. Now, it's what should we call it? We're hosting the judging of all the videos that we've taken in for this month. and we're going to be giving away prizes like shiny Pokemon, 5, 6 IV Pokemon to all the people who competed and topped. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We've been having it for about a month. It's been released.
Yeah.
And you can enter up to 3 videos. If you scroll down on my page, you can see the Maximum Pulse Gaming logo. It's a big orange logo. If you click on that, go to our forums, you can make a profile. Just go to the Pokemon events, leave a little comment, and just leave your video in there. And if you... I'll go for it.
Well, if you've got last minute entries, I know it'll probably be tomorrow. That's Friday, Pacific Standard Time, California, at about I don't know 7 in the evening is like the deadline for submissions when we'll start watching and judging them. So if you have a last minute entry, you want to get your PR video in, I'd go for it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully this is not just the only PR Open that we do. I think that this is definitely a tournament we can do monthly, and it seems like a lot of fun, and it's something that no one else is really doing. That's what I really like about it. It's a way to use Pokemon, like, creatively, that you can't really find anywhere else. Battles you can be as creative as you want, but not gonna lie, someone has probably thought of something that's either the same thing you thought up of, or better. So all your creativity is for naught when it comes to battling, for the most part. This is something that, you're playing with a blank canvas, and PR videos is something that I really think are funny and great to enjoy. We're going to be having 3 judges. I've contacted most of them, and there's like 5 different points each of them are going to be judging on, and there's going to be scores. So each video is going to be judged and scored by a panel of judges, and it's going to be awesome. I wish we all had like suits. It's like PR Open American Idol, kind of like that. We gotta find a British guy.
Rotating chairs. That's the voice, right? They did the rotating button. Hit the button down. I think that another thing we might toy with is photography contest. Like everyone submits one of the in-game photos, like with the outfit, whatever they're wearing.
I'm writing that down. That's so good. I have so many good photos.
All of the features that aren't like battling in this game are wonderful.
I agree.
We could just have a live puzzle tap competition. Everybody does the endless puzzle game, and whoever has the highest score wins.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I think I've had more fun like using the additional features of this game than actually like battling this gen. It's so weird.
Well, and if you know anything about photography, if you use like a DSLR camera, if you're just a photographer, like a journalism, or you do professional photography, it's extremely accurate and phenomenal. The detail that they just threw into this little feature of the game, between being able to control the aperture and the light balance of all the pictures that you take, plus it's the gyroscope action. It's my favorite part of the game was the photography gym. I think that's gym number 1 or gym number 2.
Yep, I liked it. I like the bug gym because I like bug type, but yeah, I think it's a really good idea, and that's something we can do. That's really good. I think also in most of our tournaments, we're probably going to start giving away, at least this month, I think $10 gift cards to the Nintendo eShop, because as you guys know, the Pokebank, everyone had a free month, and that free month is going to be expiring. So if you want to win some $10 eShop cards to pay for Pokebank, and also other great games like the game that lets you get the 3 Therian forms, this is a great place to come and win them, because there's really not that many people entering. You'd think there'd be a lot more, but there's not. So yeah. It's also just a really good place to come and potentially win some free prizes. I'm really liking that photo idea. That was pretty thick. Alright, anyways, next thing we're going to be moving on to is going to be Maximum Impulse Fight Night, another tournament sponsored by Maximum Impulse Gaming. This one is going to be having gift cards available. This tournament is, if you've never heard of Fight Night format, the tournament where I think it's going to be Saturday night. I'm just reading what's in the chat.
I can talk about it. Saturday nights. We're gonna the best of 7 match, multiple matches with the champ. Like the challenger takes on the champion, and if you win the night, then you have a potential for like round 1 prizes. If you consecutively win throughout the weeks against multiple challengers, the prizes get even better until you decide to quit. But if you lose everything.
Yep, that's pretty much it. So winner take all, winner stays. You play a best of 7, and even if it's not one of us playing or anyone on Maximum Impulse, just send in the replays to one of us, and we will cast the games for you. So not only does that get you prizes, it also gets your name out there. and it lets your games be casted by people who actually know what they're talking about.
Yep.
I'm sure if you give us the replays, we would have a lot more time and we would say a lot less ums if you send us the replays. So be sure to definitely check that out. I think I'm the reigning champ right now. I beat Hamilton in a really close best of 7. And you can actually pick your format and stuff like that too. So it's really cool. I think like the best of 7, I wanted to make it so it's like, first 2 rounds are singles, first 2 rounds are
Yeah.
doubles. Maybe a round of Ubers in there if it gets to like game 6 or 7. That'd be kind of cool if we had the potential to do that stuff. So this is definitely a thing that has a lot of potential
I
to
think
be
all
something
game
big.
sevens should be Wonder Battles.
That's definitely an option, but I mean
You just roll the
yeah, no,
dice.
you're right. In like League of Legends, people have like, the game, like the game 7 is always the teams. There's no picks or bans, and teams can pick like the same champions, and that's like not competitive at all. So that's I guess that's an
It
option.
depends on
Wonder
how
battles.
serious. Like both parties should agree to it. But I would even do like you wonder trade one Pokemon and you only bring the one Pokemon that you get, and it's just a fight between that. Like,
Maybe you could have like one like black ball where you're like, I can't use this Kakuna, man. Don't be a jerk. Okay, now that's definitely an option. All right, so those are the 2 tournaments being sponsored by Maximum Impulse Gaming that we're going to be talking about, well, that we talked about. Be sure to come and check those out at our website, MaximumImpulseGaming.com. There's a little orange logo all the way down. Just go down my screen. It says, you can just click on that. It'll take you right to our website. It'd be really cool to see you guys there.
yep.
So now
Like
we're
Mega,
actually, what was
if you
that?
want to be like popular, just ask stuff on the forums if you got questions. Just want to be part of the community. It's a pretty small community, but we're definitely helpful to Pokemon players, people who love Pokemon at all, and it'll be great.
Yeah, I put up pretty much every day or two. I put up an article about just things in the metagame. Today I put up an article on how to correctly do a rate my team, and given a great example of a team that I covered in the NU tier for Gen 5. I put up the sprites on there. I wrote a little bit brief description about the Pokemon, the items, the EVs, the movesets, the usage, the reason why. I did all that stuff, so it's a really decent article, and it's just a great template for people to go and, like, I guess, see how to do a rate my team, and then potentially leave their own rate my teams so we can help them out.
I think we're still waiting on Producer was going to write an article about how he dislikes egg-shaped Pokemon, and I'm working on one on ladder anxiety. So
Oh man,
those
that's
want
perfect for
special
you.
battles, but like your rating is like 6-6, and you're like, I don't want to go. Like I used, like you get really anxious.
Hmm.
It's like a psychological condition that you get. Some research is going into that.
You just gotta like for what sorry for ladder anxiety. You just gotta like the only way to win is to lose, and once you know that, you could be the best. Like literally, like you think everyone was just like, oh, Talonflame, yeah, I'll just counter it. They got shit on like 10 times before they realized like, oh, this thing can't do anything to T-Tar. That's just how it goes. Oh, this thing like really can't do anything to like, oh, it got intimidated. Well, now I
Yep.
win. You have to lose in order to learn that type of stuff. All right. So have I talked about the rating battles in season 2 and 3 yet, or was that just like way too
Um,
brief? I don't
I
think I did. I think I just skipped
Yeah.
over.
If you go over what the difference in special battles is, did
Yeah.
you as far as that was the limit, right?
No,
Limit to how many battles you could play.
no, that was for the global, or that was for the beta competition. This is for rating
Right.
battles in season 2 and 3. In
So
this, or sorry, I'll just talk about it. For this season on the Wi-Fi ladder, the rating battles for season 2 ended, and rating battles season 3 started a couple days ago. So pretty much it's the same format. There's singles, doubles, triples, rotation, and special. And each season special changes. For the first season it was you could only use Kalos Pokemon. For the second season, oh, and it was singles. For the second season it was doubles with only Kalos natives. So like in the first season, yeah, Togekiss was fine. No, it wasn't. Sorry, it wasn't. Yeah, you're right, it wasn't. It was only Kalos decks. So both seasons are
yeah.
only Kalos decks, but it was doubles in season 2, and you still have the same 30-minute time limit. All they changed for this season was it's still doubles, it's still only Kalos, but it's the same rules as VGC. The only things that they really changed was making it a 15-minute time limit. Not gonna lie, most of my games, I'm still using a really aggressive team, almost go to the wire. I saw a lot of really good players at top to the VGC that didn't know that there was like a 15-minute time limit, and Tony, one of the guys at top, who is a great friend of ours, he he lost his first round. He won every other round after the first round, but he just timed himself out. He didn't know there was a time limit because 15 minutes is such a small time window to play a VGC battle.
Yeah, it can be.
And that's pretty much the only change to the formats.
Yeah, but that'll be good prep because if people were practicing special battles and when we had the half hour, it was completely different than the VGC that we just gotta either rush through stuff or
Hmm.
change the like way that your team is played just so that it's faster paced.
Yeah. It was funny. There's still 30 minutes for all the other formats. The other day, I was playing a battle, and it was a really long battle in rotation, which is my favorite format. And I actually timed a guy out. Like, I was super salty, but then I realized, like, he can't win for, like, another hour. And I started taking, like, 60 seconds for each of my moves, and I timed him out.
Hmm.
And that's how it goes. But he crit two of my things, but he only had one thing left, and I could just, like, switch protect, and they go on cooldown. But then if you switch protect and then like you don't switch and then you resist the move, you could see how it could. Each turn you have a minute to make your move, and we were already like 50 minutes through the battle.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of funny. Let's start talking about the recent Smogon bans. Do you know what those are?
Let's see. They removed Genesect and Lucaria Knight from OU.
That's what they did. They put both of those in Ubers. Lucario Knight is the item that lets Lucario access its Mega Form, Mega Lucario, which has the ability Adaptability, which gives it like a second stab on any of its stabbed moves. It's a
Hmm.
very good ability. It's really, really broken.
It's
And,
bullet punch and its close combats hurt extra hard.
well, that's what most people thought, but in reality, it's better to use Special Sweep for Lucario. You can't be a will-o-wisp. Most teams need a special attacker, and Lucario also gets Nasty Plot. And like Flash Cannon, Vacuum Wave, I think it's Vacuum Wave, I don't remember.
Yeah.
And
Well, if he does get Vacuum Wave, that's the priority fighting move. That's
yeah,
special.
and then what is it? There's also like Aura Sphere, Focus Blast. Those things
Yeah.
are all really good. So most people were. That's what pretty much made him Uber was people were just abusing the special one because you
Yeah.
can't really pick which like. If you have Lucario, if your opponent has Lucario out, and you're like, all right, cool, he's going to use a physical attack, and you switch to your physical wall, and they like nuke your physical wall with a special attack, it's stupid. So it's
It
just
can just break your entire team.
yeah, well, they break your wall and then your team crumbles. You know, like let's say you send out Lucario, they send out Lucario, you switch to Gliscor, and they're like, oh well, you're so dead, like
Hmm.
Dark Pulse, and you're like, well, what am I supposed to do? So that's one of the reasons why it was banned. I personally don't agree with the ban. I do not think Lucario is good enough to be banned. Mega Lucario, that is. It's just my personal opinion. It's never given me problems at all, and I still like the physical one. But I'm still going to use Lucario. I think Life Orb Lucario was really great last gen, and I think it's just a great Pokemon this gen. That's just my opinion on Lucario.
Yep. I don't think that the Lucaria Knight should necessarily been banned, but if it was, okay, as far as I haven't been checking the meta in the last couple weeks, but if it was oversaturating special Lucarios that were just dominating everything, I can understand where they're coming from doing it. It's the same thing that was happening in towards the end of Gen 4, where they're throwing out if someone was abusing a specific combo, they would
Well,
move it to Uber.
it's just like what they did at Salamence. Salamence could do either. It's not that it's too good, it's that it takes skill out of the game. If you send out Lucario, and your opponent doesn't know if it's physical or special, you know, there's no way for them to call it because it can most definitely be both. Another
Hmm.
reason why I think it's like a little tip the scale for the ban is there's no other good Mega to use. They banned like Kangaskhan and Gengar. Lucario's obviously the next best one. So
Yeah,
they're really
as
limiting
far as
your
aggressive.
choices. Like why wouldn't you use Lucario was the argument. And so they're like, well, if everyone's just going to use it, we're just going to get rid of it because it's too dominating. It's in every single team. It makes them out of stale. I can definitely agree with their uh, all their thought process on it. It doesn't bother Lucario doesn't bother me. So the other thing that was banned was Genesect. I think they did test it for a little while. It was an Uber last gen. It gets downloaded ability, which when you send it in, it has a chance to raise its special attack or attack. Both are really good considering most of them carry U-turn. But
Hmm.
what makes it really good is it's very fast. I think it has like a 115 base. I think that's what it is at the top of my head for its base speed. And it gets access to like Bug Buzz, U-turn, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Flamethrower,
Yeah.
Thunder, Thunder Wave. You know, it also has that special ability or that special move that only it gets that changes its type depending on whatever stupid disc is in it. That's bad. But Genesect just commands too much dominance. It's the type of thing that can break a wall and then just like clean up later in the game. I personally also agree that it shouldn't, or disagree that it shouldn't have been banned. That's just how I play. I mean, Genesect isn't a problem if you know what you're doing. But there are people that whine about it, I guess. I don't know. What do you think about Genesect?
I think Genesect is just, I mean, power wise and moveset wise, it belongs in that other tier. Um,
That's how you think about it?
yeah, when I think of a Genesect, I think of it the
Because, like,
same.
it has lower base stats than, like, a Latios.
Yeah, I think Latios is overpowered too.
I think Latios is an Uber. I've always thought that.
Yeah,
Like, fuck, man. Latios is so Uber. When it
like
was legal in last gen, I wouldn't let, like, my teammates play against me with it. I was like, nah, man, that's an Uber. Get that out of here.
it's just, I mean, yeah, if Smogon says it's okay, whatever, to use Latias and stuff, when people bring nothing but their Cresselia Latias, just everything that's a legendary that I consider overpowered for the tier, I don't have as much fun in a game where if I'm playing against somebody who's using Pokemon that are like their favorite Pokemon and that they put a lot of like love into, rather than just like the legendaries that they caught
Man, I
or
put
hacked.
so much love into that Cresselia, man. Don't be salty. I'm talking about a battle we played, like, last week.
Cresselia.
Cresselia is good. You can't deny Cresselia. It's like UU, so it's not even like OU, so you don't have to worry about it. It's
Yeah,
like BL.
it's bulky.
It's bulky.
I don't know what to do.
Alright, so the thing is, when you send Cresselia out, you're sending Cresselia out to make them leave. And, like, let's say I send Cresselia out. What's a physical attacker? The elements, Garchomp. If I send
Yep.
Cresselia out against Garchomp, I can't do anything to the Garchomp. Like, I can't. Unless I have Ice Beam. You know, some carry Ice Beam, some carry Psychic. Can't really do anything to you. But what I put in your mind is that you cannot do anything to me. So me sending out Cresselia forces you to switch, even though I really can't do anything. You know how many times I've just sent Cresselia out against, like, Heatran and been like, wall? And then they switch, and then they see me, like, do a useless move. And they're like, what the fuck, you couldn't have done anything. And I'm like, yep. It just makes the other player switch.
Yeah.
Alright, so what were we even talking about? We were talking about the bannings. Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
Genesect should have been banned, but then again, I was a person that really liked using Genesect, but I just like Pokemon that have access to Bolt Beam Flamethrower, as well as a stab move. Like, once Genesect got banned, I switched over to using a Latios that had HP Fire, Ice Beam, and Thunderbolt. You know, that's just my playstyle. I like having a Pokemon that has all those coverages. In this gen, I'm not using Latios because I don't have one. I'm using a Goodra that has Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, and Dragon Pulse. So I really just like having the option to cover everything, and usually Genesect can have that. Like, he's normally Scarfed. I personally like running an Orbed one because it goes a little bit mind games and it hits a little bit harder. But if you think about it, like, late game, there's nothing more dangerous than a Genesect. So I respect their opinion to ban him.
Yep. I just think Genesect's too strong to be in the same tier as all the other OU Pokemon. That's just an opinion.
It's not like he doesn't have counters though. Like the random like HP Fire from like. Let me think of the stupidest thing that could have HP Fire. Hold on.
Anything could have
No,
HP.
in the OU tier though.
Should you have to
No,
prepare for
like
HP
like
Fire?
like the Gyarados HP Fire could like kill him. The adamant Gyarados with HP Fire could kill him. But it's fine. I think that's the funniest one I got. But yeah, it's not like he doesn't have his counters, and he can't break special walls. So what he does is he forces people to bring things to counter him, which is also unhealthy. But like literally, he can't do shit to a Heatran. This Thunderbolt takes like 10% off a Heatran, and then you have to switch, and then they pop Sub or Stealth Rocks, and that's just a whole other thing.
Yeah, but then you gotta run Heatran.
Every single person runs Heatran.
I don't want.
I don't, but I don't have one. So, anyways, those are the two Pokemon that get banned from Smogon. I think other potential bans that we could see soon are... I really think Aegislash is going to hit the ban hammer soon. That's just how I feel. I think that Pokemon is very unhealthy for the metagame. That's just how I've always felt about it. Like, King Shields is a guessing game. It doesn't really promote skill, it's just a guessing game.
It's
something...
just Did they think I'm going to do that, or do they think I'm going to do,
Yeah.
or if they think that I think that they know what I'm going to do, then I'm going to do this. But if
Yep.
they know that I'm going to do, like, it just gets into
Yeah,
the
and
big.
then another thing is it's also gotten a lot stronger because a lot of the times, or just like Lucario, everyone thought Lucario was going to be a physical attacker. Same thing with Aegislash. Everyone used to run physical attack Aegislashes. Well, nowadays people are only running special attack Aegislashes, so like you can't even burn them anymore. And so I really just I would like it if you would just leave. It's not that I have a real problem with it. I know in like the 3v3 singles meta for online Wi-Fi, which isn't affected by Smogon, that Aegislash is strong there because there's only three Pokemon. You're like, if I can make my Aegislash like kill one and weaken one, I'm gonna win. And well, they're usually right. So I think Aegislash could potentially get the ban hammer soon.
I would not like that to happen because I really like Aegislash. But
Yeah,
as it happens sometimes in this game, Pokemon that I like end up.
Buffett hasn't been banned in like 6 years, dude.
Yeah, but I was sad about it. Actually, I was mad when they added like Wobbuffet and Wynot were the only ones that were just like non-legendaries in the Uber tier,
Yeah,
and then they threw in Garchomp, and I was like, what? He doesn't deserve to be there.
yeah, he did. He's so good.
Do you think Garchomp this gen's
Oh
gonna?
no, no, no. He's barely gonna stay with you, I think. He's much better in doubles. Another thing that I think could possibly go banned is Keldeo, who was banned at the end of Gen 5. And what else is that? Thundurus, who's also banned in Gen 5.
I would like Thundurus to be banned.
Thundurus doesn't need to be banned. He doesn't need to. Like, really, he can't do anything. You have to pick HP Fire or HP Ice. You can't have both, and you also can't kill anything in one hit, no matter which one you get. Like, HP Fire won't kill Ferrothorn, and HP Ice probably won't kill dragons. And the only reason why Thundurus was really broken last gen was because of the rain, and the only reason why Keldeo was banned last gen was because of the rain, and that's gone. So I don't think they need to get banned.
Yeah, we'll see a lot. I think people will still be going for rain teams though.
They're not.
No,
No.
I saw a lot of Ludicolo's.
Ludicolo's just, that's doubles though. You don't see him in singles.
I guess, yeah.
Like, he's not even close to OU in singles. And doubles, it's completely viable to go rain.
Yeah, it's weather because of the weather only lasts for 5 turns before you got to refresh it. It's less popular.
Yeah.
Were you gonna do a giveaway?
I was gonna do a giveaway, but there's like no one in the chat because we're streaming while Twitch Plays Pokemon's on, while Justin Flynn is on, and while Shofu is on.
We picked a wonderful time to do our broadcast.
We picked a time to do it where it would get done.
Yes, I do have a haiku though.
Go for it, champ.
For Garchomp, it's sort of in the format of what's the dog on the internet who's like much
Doge?
something.
Doge.
Yeah, it's kind of like it ends kind of like that.
Go for it.
As far as I left out some like words. So all right, Garchomp is dragon, mighty is he, a fearsome foe, much power, too strong.
That's perfect. That's totally perfect. I
Thank
like
you.
that one. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I'm sure when we do the write-up, our Pokemon poet, Hamilton, can come up with something too.
He's probably just gonna bash it. All right.
Call that poetry.
Let me see. There's like no one on. It's like.
Speaking of what was it, Twitch Plays Pokemon?
Mm-hmm.
Was that next on the list, or do we have something else to?
No, you can totally go for it, champ. Here, take the reins. I'll go take a nap. You talk for like an hour.
So, as many of you watching this later will probably, or do definitely know, Twitch Plays Pokemon is a phenomenon that started, how many days ago now? 14?
Since the beginning of time.
Yeah. An Australian programmer decided to make a script for Visual Boy Advance emulator. No, Visual Boy. Just is he using Visual Boy Advance? He's
Everyone
using an
uses
emulator
Visual Boy, man.
to play Pokemon Red, just a red version Pokemon. But instead of him just playing it on his computer, on streaming on Twitch, he's letting Twitch play it. So anyone in the chat can type like up, down, left, right, A B start.
A9.
Not.
You
I'll
could
get.
type. You could type A9.
I'll get there.
All right.
Uh, and so anybody in the chat could enter a command, and Twitch and the viewers just started to play Pokemon, and so it became Twitch Plays Pokemon. After 2 days, it got a Know Your Meme page, which I think is pretty fast. I don't know what the fastest internet phenomenon is. Before, I think the record was for Boxy, but that's like early 2000s internet that some of you kids probably don't remember.
I don't even remember that.
Well, that was pre-YouTube, actually.
I don't even think I had internet back then.
Whenever like someone's talking about stuff on the internet, like the BC for internet meme stuff is pre-YouTube, which is like 2005. So in the time before YouTube and in the time after YouTube.
The Dark Ages.
Yeah, that's just what we call it. When everybody was on like Albino Black Sheep and Newgrounds.
I remember Newgrounds. That was such a good site.
Yeah. So at its peak, concurrent viewers hit 120,000, I believe. And that's active people who are watching or typing to the chat of this stream. Over time, over these last days, it's hit well over 20 million. I don't know if you're on the channel page right now, you can give me an accurate thing. I think it was 28 million the last time I checked, and I haven't looked at it super recently, at least not today. So it could have hit 30, but so that's number of people, number of IP addresses, people with computers who have looked at the channel page. So who have at least watched for any amount of time Twitch Plays Pokemon, and that's more people than registered Jews or registered. Actually, I think that's the biggest. That's the most well-known religion. That there's more of them than that, which I think is kind of funny. Sorry if that offends you.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, what's been born of this is that what you end up with is Red, the player, walking around in circles a lot, talking to walls, talking to people, talking to the same like person over and over and over and over and over again. So what people started to do, and there's a subreddit for it. It's called Reddit. You Reddit/r/Twitch Plays Pokemon, and there's just a ton of content there that people have just been making this like backstory to the actual adventure that Twitch Plays Pokemon is going through. Nicknames for some of the Pokemon that they started with end up being AAAAAGB like Y parentheses, just because with the arrow commands being practically random and the amount of A buttons being pressed ridiculous, that's just how they go. But the Charmander that they started with, which was named, I believe, AAAAA B, and then space, close parenthesis, everybody referred to as Abby. And the Rattata that they caught, I believe was the first Pokemon that they caught, they called Jay Leno, because it was JLVNNNNO.
Imagine how hard it is to even catch a Pokemon with that.
I am surprised that they have made it as far as they have.
Mm-hmm.
The first big trial they went through was just if you've played Pokemon Red, like you remember nostalgia-wise, like there are things that are hard. There before you get to the Mount Moon, there's like an area where if you you don't think about it because when you're playing you can walk in a straight line just fine, but Twitch can't. Twitch can't walk in a straight line. Twitch thinks it's going the right way, and then it moves 2 steps down and jumps over the ledge and has to start over again.
Yeah,
so
I didn't help there.
They called out the ledge. It was the first trial. When they got the first big choice that you make in the game, and through all the decisions made in the game, like through the Reddit and through other forms of media, people have been trying to make decisions, make some forums to decide things, like do we want to get Eevee? What do we want to evolve this into? Who are we going to teach this HM? What are we going to get to learn Surf? They're all thinking about these things and preparing and making plans for it. Right now, they're training their Pokemon at the Pokemon House and the area between the Seafoam Islands before they go through Victory Road, which is going to be another really difficult task for them.
Using strength is going to suck.
Yes, yes, it is. But I think if they can just activate strength, you don't need to like keep reactivating it.
You do on each floor.
Well.
And then there's so many times in
hopefully-
Victory Road where you push your rocks in the wrong spot and you have to leave that room and go back into it.
Yep, Victory Road is going to be tough. Not as tough though, I think, as the longest challenge Twitch Plays Pokemon has faced was Team Rocket's Hideout. In Team Rocket's Hideout, on basement floor 3, I believe, there's basically this maze. There's little arrow pads on the ground that when you touch them, it spins you, and you spin until you hit like a wall, and then just some things. So you gotta, it's a pretty simple path to figure out if you're playing it. Like it probably wouldn't take a normal player like 5 minutes to get through the puzzle and to go get the basement key. But Twitch can't go in a straight line. Twitch decides to walk in different directions, and so for 26 hours, they meandered around until the guy who owns the channel decided to write a new script into the thing and instigated a mode that he called Democracy Mode, so that every 20 seconds, let's say the chat types the word up 100 times, but people in the chat also type the word start 120 times. After 20 seconds, it tallies the votes, and start having more votes, it presses the start button. So it moves a lot slower, but the community has more of an input, and that's how they managed to get through the maze there. And then a lot of people protested this. The way they protested it was in Democracy Mode, you could queue commands. You could press A9, and that would press the A button 9 times. You could press start 9, and that would press the start button 9 times, so the start menu would open and close 4 times.
That's the best one.
Yeah. So that was the protest, because Anarchy Mode is what they called the previous mode. People had a lot more fun doing that, so what they instigated was a system where you type anarchy into the chat or you type democracy into the chat, and this little tug of war happens as it goes back and forth. And if it's all the way to the democracy side, democracy mode starts, and if it's all the way to the anarchy side, anarchy mode starts. So let's get into the lore. Like, those are the mechanics of this game, but the lore behind it is crazy. A lot of people have made some beautiful art pieces and comics about how Ash or Red is basically insane, and that he hears these voices in his head as he goes through. And the first big decision that they make in the game was to get the Dome Fossil or the Helix Fossil. And so people on either side were saying, get this one, get the other one, and they ended up with the Helix Fossil. And the way the stream has been going is that because so many buttons get pressed randomly, start gets pressed a lot, and then they end up going to the bag a lot, and then they end up looking at the Helix Fossil because it's the first thing in the bag, and it says like you can't use that right now. But so little comics started to emerge where Red was walking around, and then he pulled out the Helix Fossil, and then he looked at it, and then he put it away, and then it just says saving, because the next thing that would happen was that the Twitch would go to the save thing and just save the game inexplicably for no reason. The most dangerous place in Twitch Plays Pokemon is the PC. Pokemon that get put into the PC have a tendency to be released in great numbers. The first 2 Pokemon to be released was Charmeleon and the Rattata. The first 2 Pokemon, of the first 3 Pokemon caught, those are 2 of them. It was a very sad time for a lot of people.
Cry every time.
This was immediately after Eevee was selected, and that instead of the plan was to get Eevee, evolve it into Vaporeon, and that was who would use Surf. Instead, they bought 3 Pokédolls, a Fresh Water, a Soda Pop, and a Firestone. Because that's what happens when you go to the department store with Twitch Plays Pokemon. You think, we can just do this and buy a Water Stone, right? Nope.
I'm surprised they even got a stone. You know?
It's weird that they, I'm impressed that stuff happens at all. I thought the entire thing was going to be like Team Rocket's Hideout. but it hasn't been.
I'm
And
surprised they
so
got to Brock.
I
Viridian Forest takes no prisoners.
don't think they caught anything in Viridian Forest.
Damn right. No prisoners.
Nope. But yeah, so as soon as the Flareon, Eevee evolved into Flareon, that's when bad things started to happen. So people start to consider Flareon a bad omen. They think Flareon's evil, and so there's a lot of art depicting that. They're calling the Pokemon that was in the front of the party that just leveled up the fastest was Pidgey, who evolved into Pidgeot. And when Pidgeot's level 40 and everything else is in its like level 10, 15, they started calling Pidgeot Bird Jesus, the savior of Twitch. And so there's a lot of little religious metaphors going on. It's highly amusing if you're into that sort of thing. I think it's hilarious, especially with the sort of microcosm of like societal evolution that's happened. Everybody's like mad at each other at the beginning, but slowly they've started to grow more tolerant and understand each other, and everyone ends up working together. And I think they make it through. They made it through Cinnabar Island. They somehow managed to surf next to the water, go down to Cinnabar Island, and get to the. They got to the power plant, which isn't the easiest thing.
Yeah, they
to do.
caught Zapdos without tossing the Master Ball.
That's right.
Second coming of Bird Jesus.
Yeah. Funny, like little amusing thing. Like the most memorable moment I had was after the 26 hours in the Team Rocket's hideout. You get the lift key, and then it takes a very long time to go into the elevator, to select the right floor, and then to get out of the elevator without selecting a different floor, to get to Giovanni. And so in the first fight with Giovanni, Giovanni's taken down every Pokemon except for Pidgeot. Bird Jesus is there to save the day. It's down to Kangaskhan and Pidgeot. Pidgeot was about 17 HP, and Kangaskhan was at like 1 HP. Kangaskhan was using Rage. It used Rage to crit, and took Pidgeot down to 1 HP. So both Pokemon are at 1 HP. Pidgeot is faster, it also has Quick Attack, but it's also got Sand Attack and a bunch of other not attacks. So everybody was holding their breath with what Twitch did, which it opens the bag, looks at the SSN ticket, looks at the Helix fossil, tries to like activate the bike or whatever, it just does a bunch, tries to run a couple times. It goes into the bag, shows Giovanni the nugget, maybe try to buy him off. But then they go into the fight menu and they select an attack, and it's Whirlwind, which does nothing for trainer battle when the last Pokemon's out. And Kangaskhan is using Rage, and so at the moment where everything could have been awesome, and Pidgeot could just use Quick Attack, take out the Kangaskhan, he uses Whirlwind, and everybody shouted in despair. There are screenshots of people in like college dorms popped onto Reddit. This is everyone's reaction. There are people talking about how like they go into class and their professor's got like a Helix fossil message written on the whiteboard. There are people at protests at their colleges who have Helix fossil posters that are protesting next to anti-abortion rights and like abortion rights activists. There's so much permeating into culture from this event. It's phenomenal. I could go on for another hour.
We've been going on for a while. I think it's what was it? It's funny. So you think that all these people watching had to have come from somewhere. You're like, well, they probably just like are just League viewers, and they just watch this now. Like League of Legends isn't really losing any viewers.
Nope.
It's just the League has the same. StarCraft still has the same. Like WoW still has the same. Pokemon is, but I mean like.
Pokemon viewers have dwindled a bit.
But for the most part, these viewers were like their friends told them about it, and it's just completely new viewers for Twitch, and I think that's really cool.
Yep.
Overall, like the game, I like watching people play video games. I probably like watching people play video games more than I like playing video games. That's just spend more of my time watching streams than playing games. But watching Twitch plays Pokemon, I don't know. It
gets exhausting after a while.
I'd rather just play Red version. I'd rather just play Red version. Yellow is my favorite Pokemon game, and I'd rather just play it.
There was
Like,
a stream that was doing. Some guy was playing. He said, "How many times can I beat Pokemon Red before Twitch does?"
yep.
I don't know if he's still doing it, but
Like, there was this comic I was reading today. It was a comic about this guy that is doing a Nuzlocke challenge. Have you seen the comic?
you sent a link to it out. I started
Yeah.
to read some of it. It was. It seemed really well done, like just narrative wise.
Narrative-wise, yeah, he actually gets a lot better at drawing.
Yeah,
But
that's good. That's
that
promising.
comic, it goes all the way from Ruby to Fire Red to like Black and White, and it it made me really just be like, all right, I want to restart all my games and do Nuzlocks, because he had such a bond with all of his Pokemon. And then I got to thinking, like, what if there was like a Twitch Plays Nuzlocke challenge?
They put that's basically this.
No. How many times have they whited out or blacked out? How many
A lot,
times? Yeah, but imagine
but they
like,
released a lot of Pokemon too.
yep. Well, you have to release them. That's the rules, man.
They
I don't
wouldn't.
know.
They wouldn't make it through Nuzlocke because Pokemon wouldn't have lasted. Oh no, Chespin's
It's cool.
gone.
I'm just saying. I think I might do a Nuzlocke. I'm already doing a Wonderlock, but like I almost want to do a Nuzlocke over a Wonderlock. Wonderlock's harder, but like you don't get to nickname your Pokemon and have like that bond.
Yeah,
I don't know. He
there are people who are playing through Fire Red, and they're just doing. They're catching all the same Pokemon that Twitch did, and they're naming them all the same
yeah,
things.
people do that.
There was someone who registered the Rattata's name. Jaylena was JLVNNN. Like a couple of the letters. They registered that as a license plate in
I'm not surprised.
USA. So
But there's like when
the amount of
I
culture
was
that's
reading this comic about this Nuzlocke, and I had such like a feeling for the guy, like when he had to release his Pokemon when they died, man. And he
it
oh, and also in this comic, it's full of Lost references. The guy is a huge Lost fan. I don't know if you've ever seen the show, but when all his Pokemon
on
died,
Netflix.
when his Nuzleaf died, and right before it died, it like he'll like often draw like the Pokemon, but with like a serious face, and it's John Locke's face. And after it dies, he can still see its ghost. And so it's like John Locke talking about it's his destiny to do all this stuff. And then like the main character sometimes like looks like Jack and tells people like we have to go back. And there's so many. It's a full Lost references. His Pidgey, his name
I
is Sawyer. He names them all after Lost characters.
yeah.
And so you see like
I'd
Sawyer
play that
face
as
like
well.
photoshopped. It wasn't like photoshopped, but like drawn. It's a Pidgeot with like a Sawyer face. I'm just
Josh Holloway.
you gotta read it. It's so good. Yeah,
Yeah.
Twitch plays Pokemon. Pretty amazing that they've even gotten this far.
I find it so hard to believe.
I don't. I watched for like 10
That's,
minutes today, and I watched when Lord Helix died, and I closed it. So he
where
died
do
to
you?
level 20
Oh,
Machop. And he evolved. They activated the Omanite, sorry, the Helix fossil, got like revived into level 30 Omanite, then it evolved, and now every time I go in and check the stream, it dies.
he
So
dies for your sins.
it's funny how it's like his sprite is just like him dancing. You
Yeah,
know,
it's like
it's like they wanted me to like rule or battle, but I just want to dance.
it's great because especially since all of the Gen 1 sprites look a little odd.
Gyarados doesn't look odd. Gyarados looks completely great. It's my favorite sprite is Gen 1 Gyarados.
Yeah.
That's what Gyarados looks like, man. Take it or leave it. Like
Ghastly through Gengar look very frightening.
Charizard looks stupid too. So
Charizard's like,
it's like Dragonite looks dumb, but Gyarados, dude, Snorlax looks amazing too. He has the draw me like one of your French girls pose.
yeah.
There's some that they got right, but like Gyarados didn't get back on the right track until like platinum version.
Have you seen the Snorlax series of sprites
I've seen
that
it.
they go through Gen 1 through Gen 6, and
Mhm.
they realize that this entire time, like it look if you look at all Snorlax's sprites from Gen 1 to Gen 6, it looks like if you do like a flip book, it would just
Yeah,
look like he's trying to get up. Like he rolls
yeah.
one way, he rolls the other way, he like leans up and then he leans back and then he stands up. The entire time, he's just trying to stand up. Took him 6 generations.
So
And a Munchlax.
is there anything else we still have to talk about?
Pokemon's on Netflix.
Pokemon is on Netflix starting this weekend. You can go rewatch it. I don't know how many seasons there are. Do you?
I know. I heard 2 people talking about it was Gen 1, like Season 1, at least, starting there. I saw the official Pokemon Facebook page posted the picture was from, like, Gen Battle Frontier.
Yeah, it was Battle Frontier. I was on Twitter and I just typed in Pokemon because that's what happens when I want to look up for Pokemon stuff. And literally, like, as far as you scroll down, as far as I could see, was just Pokemon's on Twitter or Pokemon's on Netflix. And I was like, is this really that important? Like, if you guys don't know what
Yes.
YouTube is,
It'll be good for Tumblr. If anyone watching is a big Tumblr fan, I don't tumble. Like, I look at Tumblr, but I don't participate. I don't tumble.
Looky-loo.
Yeah, I'm just a
Okay.
casual.
So
I'm a Tumblr casual.
closet
Uh,
Tumblr. All right. So what does that have to do with Tumblr?
well, these shows that are on now, like the way people enjoy like television now,
Oh
is that they'll
yeah.
take screen caps and they'll throw in captions and they'll do all this stuff and they'll post it on Tumblr and then people will reblog it and people make comments on it, and it's this whole community of sharing things, and they couldn't do no one Pokemon it wasn't able to do that with Pokemon before because Pokemon aired in the late '90s.
Yeah.
Before Tumblr was around. This is pre YouTube. This is
The Dark
PY
Ages.
year.
I tumble. I have like 900 followers on Tumblr. It's weird. I don't even know how I got that many. I don't even
Not
do
too
anything.
shabby. Don't you do J Rock stuff?
But yeah, but that's like not anything important. That's like I kind of do it. Like I kind of put my JRock stuff up there so like I can have it there.
Yeah.
It's like a selfless reason for doing stuff. But I think that's pretty much all I want to talk about. I can give away a Gibble. Let's see, where's my game? I should probably get my game out.
Alright, I'm gonna read this poem once again.
Go for
People
it.
might have forgotten it after that Twitch Plays Pokemon rant. If they muted it, went to get a drink because they thought it was boring, and then come back now. Uh, Garchomp is dragon. Mighty is he, a fearsome foe. Much power, too strong.
Still strong.
Too strong.
Strong like a Russian woman. Duh. In Garchomp,
I
in Soviet Russia, Garchomp, like, no, there's a joke there somewhere. Alright, let me just find my friend code.
well, there's a picture of a Mudkip color schemed to black and red, and it said in Soviet Russia, Mudkip like you.
I believe.
I could probably find the picture. It's probably saved to somewhere on my computer because I thought that was hilarious, especially since those are my favorite colors. The way it was colorized.
Need to go into my dashboard.
Is there anyone watching? Does anyone want a Gibble?
Oh yeah, there are people
Okay.
here. Who wants a Gibble? That's just actually a better question. Who wants Gibble?
Yeah,
Because there's people here.
they
It's a 5
jolly.
IV Gibble. It's a 5 IV Gibble, jolly with rough skin. It's just what you need to make Garchomp the best Pokemon in the world.
Garchompite not included, but you don't want to
Yeah.
make a Garchompite. You don't want to make a Garchomp that's jolly.
Yeah, you do. Because you want to be fast at one turn. This is my friend code. I'm going to
Yes.
put it in the chat.
You can just protect that one turn though if you want to be slow. Like
Yeah,
what if
you could
want
give
to
it
be
the
slow?
adamant one. How many people do you think there will be? No, sorry, that's an old one. Anyways, if anyone wants a Gibble, they're right here. They're both females, and they both have outrage. But if anyone wants a
Don't-
Gibble, we'll be here for a few more minutes.
Yep.
Sarah has
Remember
like 3
what,
Garchomp. She doesn't need one.
The Maximum Impulse forums, Pokemon forums.
I could probably link that. That's a good idea.
If you've got questions, you just want to talk, hang out. I check it every once in a while, see if anyone's done stuff.
Yeah, I check it pretty much every day. This
Make
is
a
our
post.
website. You can definitely go there and check out everything. We do tournaments. We do. We're gonna be doing Rate My Teams there. We're also gonna be doing coaching there. So if you wanna potentially get like free coaching from us, just us like getting on like a Skype call with you, we'll go do some stuff on Showdown. We can help you learn how to play to your strengths as a player in singles or doubles or pretty much any format you really want. We're going to be doing coaching on there too. But is there anyone that wants a Gibble? If not, we can just give them away next week. I still have them.
It's very hard to make this chestpin stand, by the way. I hope you all appreciate it.
I appreciate it. I think I'm going to be streaming Bravery Default tomorrow.
I tried to go buy that game.
And they said they laughed at you, didn't they?
It's sold out. It's within 70 miles.
I went to a GameStop the day after it came out, Bravery Default, and I said, "Hey, can I grab Bravery Default? I don't see it on your shelf." So like, LOL, that game isn't around for 100 miles.
100 miles?
Yeah, and that was the day after it came out. I was at a GameStop. They made me feel like I was retarded. That was kind of rude.
GameStop employees are not the best.
So what happened was I went to Walmart, and it was at Walmart.
Yeah, there was a nice lady that I talked to at GameStop. GameStop was selling the new set for Pokemon and Magic too. So
they do that. They do cards, but you could always download the game. You know.
Yeah, I guess, but I want.
But don't do it though. Yeah, just don't. Just go to Walmart for like a week and you'll be able to find it. If you want to learn anything about Bravery Default before you do buy it, you can watch me stream it.
Oh yeah.
That tomorrow. Yeah, it looks like no one wants a Garchomp, or no one wants a chestpin. So.
Everyone wants a chestpin, you said?
Not chestpin. No one wants Gibble.
Bulletproof, nothing to lose.
Anyway, so I think we're just gonna call the stream there. I might be back on later tonight doing some battles. I might be on Showdown or just like Ladder or something. I might even do my Wonderwalk tonight. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching the Goldenrod Radio stream. I think this is number 6, right? We're on number 6.
Should be.
Because
if you want to follow the Twitter, at radio_goldenrod on Twitter. There's also a Gmail with the same username if you want to email in a suggestion. You can also find me at JellySound on Twitter or on Twitch at JellySound or JellySound1. If you want to know when we're gonna stream next, it wouldn't be a too poor idea to follow that Twitter. Or if you follow the Goldenrod Radio Twitter, the only thing it pretty much does is say when we're gonna stream, and when we're 5 minutes from streaming. So you'll be able to
potentially have more stuff on there.
Yeah, but as of right now, it'll be up. It'll tell you when the VOD's up, and it'll tell you when we go live. So if you want to know when we're doing Goldenrod content, at radio_goldenrod is the Twitter to follow.
And also, all the people that are watching, if you like stuff from this channel, also feel free to follow my channel. I stream 5 to 6 days a week, multiple games, usually Pokemon stuff. And we normally do this Goldenrod Radio thing once a week. It's been a little bit slow because we were pretty much totally wiped out after BGC Long Beach. So we'll hopefully be getting back on it. Thank you for watching, and I think that's all we have to say, right?
All right. So long. Until next time.
Yep.
Battle on.
Peace. That's a good way to end it. Battle on.